Hey, it's Drew Bennett from Ben Spark Family Adventures. Now, normally I have like a toy review or things like that, but sometimes I discover something at my house or my parents' house, something that I want to show you. And this past week, my parents did a yard sale, and my sisters and I had to go and clean out a closet full of all of our old toys and things like that. And I found this box. Now, this wooden box, you can see here Andrew on it. That was a box that was mine for the longest time. I kept a lot of different things in there growing up, just different things. So when I discovered this, at the bottom back of the closet, I discovered a few things that are interesting as far as when I was growing up. Okay, so one of the things in here is this piece of graph paper, and on it you can see a race car. Okay, so it's a graph paper race car that I made, and I painstakingly wrote all of the numbers along one side and along this other side. And the reason why I did this on graph paper is that I was going to create this on a computer using basic programming. And the computer that I had was an old Texas Instruments called the TI-99-4A. And I learned on this book. So this was the Beginner's Basic Programming book. I was about 8, 9, 10 years old. I believe we got this in around 82. That would have made me 8 years old. I always like to say that I was 10 years old when I started programming, but I actually, come to find out, I think it was about 8. And you would program your programs into the computer. Now, the computer was actually just a keyboard that connected to a television. And if you wanted to save anything, you would actually record it to audio tape. So the programs would be saved to audio tape. Now, I'm sure that some of you are actually watching this have never seen audio tape before. So it was like a tape cassette in a cassette player, and you actually had to listen to the whole thing, doing all that stuff. So it sounds like an old modem. So if you ever watch an old movie and the modem's like, that's what that sounded like, and that's what you had to do when you created programs. So that was one of the things that I found in there. This was another example of that. Some spaceships that I made using graph paper, and I would use whatever graph paper was available. My dad was a contractor, and so he would go to this place and get steel and aluminum and just different things, and he had this graph paper, and I used that rather than buy a bunch of graph paper. So that was some of the things. Let's see. Okay, so more along the line of that, before I get into some other stuff, were some of the old video games that we had as a family. So for the Atari 2600, we had a strawberry shortcake video game. We had the Q*bert video game. So these were just the instruction manuals for those. Pac-Man for Atari, Ms. Pac-Man for Atari. And then for some reason we had showing Donkey Kong and Mousetrap for ColecoVision. And I don't remember ever owning ColecoVision. But we had these Coleco, these Coleco cartridges. Now, whether they were cartridges that worked in, it says Coleco, but I don't know if the cartridge was actually, no, I'm sorry. It was Donkey Kong for Atari. But Coleco and Nintendo, somehow it's all befuddled there. The Mousetrap was also Atari. So there was that. And then Atlantis. So those were some of my Atari video games growing up. And on the Texas Instruments, we had Burger Time, Parsec. I played a lot of Parsec. It's like this, if you want to talk like graphics, I don't know how well you can see any of this, but up here in the corner, that is what the ship looked like. And then there was also Munchman. So Munchman was basically a sort of a knockoff of Pac-Man, but for the TI computer. Then I found some toys. Old toys from when I was a kid. So this is from a Fisher-Price set. This giraffe, this lion. So this giraffe and this lion, I found that. I found one of the old Fisher-Price Little People. Now they stopped making them like this because kids would swallow them or stick them in their mouths and they could swallow them, and so they made them big, fat, and chunky, so they couldn't get them in their giant mouths. So, whatever. Then, this was the Fisher-Price Adventure People Jeep for the Safari, and it was one of my absolute favorite toys as a kid. So we had, this guy here, and this was the action figure from when I was a kid. And his neck is a little bit floppy here, his arms. So, I mean, he could move his arms up and down, and that's it. The head could move around, the legs could, but there's no bending anywhere. The arms don't move. They're all stuck in their certain positions, so at some point, like, he could actually hold the wheel of the Jeep with one hand and with the other hand too. And there were other things that they could carry. So this actually had a trailer, and one of the things it had with it that fit in the back here was a cage. And so with the cage, you could catch the lion, put the lion in the cage. The tailgate would actually go down, and there was a connection here for the trailer. And in the trailer it carried this special thing, and this was actually, it's a tent. So inside are two metal pieces, and you flip them from one side to the other to pop up this tent. So we got a pop-up tent, and inside, the little guys could lay down and go to sleep. So they would do their safaris. Like, I brought this to the beach. I brought this everywhere and played with it everywhere. I had an Adventure People boat that would float and do some cool stuff. I had an Adventure People motorcycle. That's where this guy comes from. He actually does have bendable knees, but his legs are permanently bowed out from a bit because he could sit on a motorcycle. And that was some old Adventure People stuff. He has a hard time sitting in that. Let's see. An original Rubik's Cube, which I can never figure out completely. The stickers are probably a little bit loose because I probably pulled the stickers off at one point or another and put them on other things. Now, one of the other things I did as a kid is I collected stickers. Just one of the things I did. And I found this puffy sticker of Mr. T. So this Mr. T from like the Mr. T television show that they used to have, and it's starting to pull off the paper a bit. I'm gonna actually put this on my computer because I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I have a on my old computer. I've got a He-Man one because I had some. No, where is it? There's a Masters of the Universe set of stickers. This must have been one sheet, and I just cut the whole thing up. Some radio stations, and one of the other neat things in here, I won't show you all the stickers or anything like that, but one of the other neat things is I found these sticker sheets of Knight Rider. So these Knight Rider sticker sheets because, man, I love Knight Rider. 1982, copyright 1982, 1983, Universal Studios, Knight Rider. That was one of my favorite shows ever. And just to close it out, one last thing I found is a sticker sheet for Zips. If you know anything about the Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff, when they sing the song, Parents Just Don't Understand, he says, I asked my mom for Adidas and she bought me Zips. Zips. They were just these Zip sneakers. And I don't know why I have a sticker sheet of Zips, but I do. Anyway, it's Drew Bennett from Ben Spark Family Adventures. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter as Ben Spark, Facebook.com/Ben Spark Family Adventures, and you can find me making videos all the time. It might be some treasures from my childhood, it might be new toys from today. Anyway, thanks for watching.